Good morning, Steve and Jan. How are you doing?
We're good.
Very good.
I
Very
see
good.
you're very good.
Resting.
I can see that. I'm so excited, honestly, to start this interview. Steve, tell me more about your work, please, because we all hear that you are an incredible writer and director. Could you please tell us a little bit more about you?
Okay. You caught me off guard. Well, I mean, I always write. Writing is just part of the life journey for me, and then the audiovisual journey started about 8 years ago, and then I put the writing and the audiovisual together, and that seemed to be more natural and a nice bit. Before that, I did theatre plays. I put on a couple of nice theatre productions in Barcelona as well, which they did well. I was very proud of those as well. Anyway, and this particular film had a journey from 8 years ago. It started, Garbage Rex started as a homeless man, walking on the street, and I kid you not, he was pulling his life behind him, and he was pulling it up a small hill. He was in his 50s, very slim, and it was covered in chains, and it was overloaded, and it was impressive, and it just kicked off the whole thing, and that's what's generated a whole series of short films about our relationship with garbage and about street life.
It's an amazing work what you have done because you mix the writing with the audiovisual production, which is really good. And I don't think it's an easy journey to do unless if you are committed to do that.
The thing about being on a film set is I realized, just like I said, I started that 8 years ago. I call it the underground independent short film activity in Barcelona. I got sucked into that, and I was hooked immediately. And then I left it for a bit, and I'm glad that. But I also found that it's a very cliche, but I think as an artist, emotions play a huge part in what I do, and I tend to make things when I'm having my emotional little moments. I'm determined to continue making things in happier moments.
I see. But how you and Jan you meet? Because Jan is also another star, another actor, another producer. And tell me, how did you guys meet? How was your story? How did you click?
Well, we met like through a WhatsApp group. Like a friend of mine sent me like the announcement of of this job. And the first time that I talked to him, and that he told me about the idea of the film, I was like, it was something that I've always thought about. Like, why you like it's. I think it was a good idea already for me. Like, I was already thinking, like, why is there is now someone that can make like a film or something about homeless people. And then, like, when he told me about that, I was like, it was fate, like, nice. And since then, we've always worked together and talked since May. And the beautiful thing is, like, um, like we created a good bond together, and we're also like friends. He came to my birthday as well,
I did, you
and
did.
and also like we're gonna keep working together and make films and be creative together.
But you are still being an actor, right? You still work as a
Yeah.
producer. Please tell us more also about your
Well,
profession.
I started like very young. I started in 2015 in Italy as an actor. I took like acting classes there in a cinema school. Then I moved to the US 2019 to study acting and then work with the agency. And then I started like to write stories as well as a screenwriter, and the last year's production as well. And I like to combine my creative side with the more like management, organized side of me.
As I said from the beginning, I am having beside me two big masters in the cinema production and also in terms of movies. Steve, tell me something,
Mm.
please. How would you describe the style of your work?
Well, what I notice is that I'm looking at things which have an ambiguity a lot around them and different interpretations, and I find myself not wishing to fill in the gaps sometimes. But I create enough of a sense of story without and giving people an audience enough of an opportunity to look at some of the uncertainty, because for me that's equaling out the uncertainty of life. I also find beauty in broken things, and I've always felt that the more cracks there are, the more stories there are. So To me, there is no such thing as darkness. It's just another shade of light.
Very nice answer. Honestly, I admire the way that you speak because there is a short quote that says, "Beauty is everywhere, but it's not easy to see in the eyes of everyone." And I think you are one of these exceptions.
Well, that's what happened when I went on the film set 8 years ago, and I was a part of the filming experience, which I was working with a group of people back then, and we made a couple of like 48 movies. We made a movie in like 24, 48 hours from nothing. We made a whole short film, which I'm still very proud of. That's called Sexy in 7 2. And then I went on to make For the Love of Daniel, another film that I'm extremely proud of. I was working collaboratively with people. But the audiovisual side, just it's like part of me woke up. I call it my sixth eye, my sixth sense, I should say. And I'm not referring to the movie. So it's like another part of me woke up, and the visual side of, you know, looking at the way things are happening around me and starting to incorporate them into clear, meaningful narratives happen without my being, I wasn't fully aware at the time.
Cool. Very nice. Now we have a clear vision as well about you, and really, I think it means a lot to us to know you more, to see, to try to see how do you see the world from your eyes.
Well, first of all, it's an enormous privilege just to be breathing. I don't think I will ever make sense of it, but this is my attempt to, I think the answer is really about art, because as human beings, that's the only thing we have which is decent, in my humble opinion, that we can create something from disorder. And my understanding of art, and the way I've come to understand it at my age, and I'm nearly 60, is that artists are seeking to explain things which are not explainable, but also we're seeking to stop destruction, because we take disorder and we bring order. And for me, on a personal level and at a personal emotional level, when you go through a lot of personal turbulence, you experience that as personal destruction. And I've found, obviously, this is another cliche, going through an artistic process, you recreate, you rebuild, and there's healing involved in that catharsis. But I want to make happy stuff later on. Whether I do or not is another question.
Well, at least you try, and you are doing a good job.
Thank you
Amazing.
so much. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Now, Jan, tell me about you. Why did you decide to participate in the movie of Garbage Rex?
Well, I decided to participate in the movie because, like, of the topic and the message they wanted to send it. Because, like, I think that this film is a really good project that is going to send a message to the people and to make them notice and reflect about their behavior towards these homeless people. And we experienced it on set, actually, because there were like people that called the police when we were on set because they thought that we were like the people that were there were real homeless. So like that's we understand that people they don't like to have these people sticking around there, and I think with this film, I wanted to get involved because I like being involved in movies or in projects with meaningful themes and messages, and I hope in that people are gonna receive this kind of like message that we want to send about the attitude, and especially think about how they should watch these people and react to them as well.
Very good. And to be honest, when you called me and you told me, would you like to come and do the interviews and see, when I read the full cast and the story, my opinion is still the same. And I think it's even more because I think that you guys should see this movie and you will understand so many things. Sometimes we don't understand because we are just living the world day to day. But there are so many small things that if we just make a step, we can help and we can do a big change. And this is what Garbage Rex is trying to show you, a different world. So, Steve, next question for you. Why did you choose the title of Garbage Rex, if we might know?
Good question. The name came the day I saw the guy pulling the cart. I don't know. And then there are some thematically linked shorts around garbage. And I suppose I do carry a lot of anger, and I just have a sense of, I'm sensitive to injustice in and around life in general. And I'm British. Maybe one says that we like to stick up for the underdog. So we talk about people who have less than us and we see them as underdogs and we want to see that they get a fair chance in life. Maybe that's partly why I got involved in these kind of garbage linked stories. But, sometimes things come to you and they just sit there. And I didn't think of the title or contrive it. It just came naturally. But the story evolved over a long time.
I think the title just came at the right time, built in the right way, to be
Definitely.
honest. Jan, you are my victim now. Could you please tell us which part of Garbage Rex overwhelmed you the most?
Which part? Wow. Look, every time that I was seeing the cart, I was like, God. Every time look, you had a big cart, that we made for a film, and every time that we need to move the cart back in the van and outside, I was like, very overwhelming. But I mean, it was worth it. And other scene that they were like overwhelming. The second day, we stay all day over there, and even if it was one location, we needed to a scene where there were a lot of dialogues. So we needed to stop people walking, and then we needed like sound issues, so we needed to be careful of that. And then the police came a couple of times, and then yeah, but in the end of the day, with all the problems that we have faced, we solved everything. So that's the beautiful thing of a team that we had, and we are.
And I'm sure that you really did an amazing job altogether. You have a marvelous team, so I congratulate both of you for choosing the right people. I met all the people here, your marvelous team, and really I'm speechless for the level of professionality, for the level of work, for the level of everything. And I was very happy to see how this beautiful movie made you to be more unique and more together.
Thank you.
So, Steve, please, could you tell us what made you feel proud from your entire career as a director?
Well, I made a movie 7 years ago called Boxed In. Very proud of that because it was a huge gamble. I don't think anyone really gets it, and that's fine. But I'm very happy with it. And then, in a way, I feel a little bit like people are getting it a bit now, slowly, because something happened this year where somebody said they saw a few people were looking at it at the internet from various organizations, and in other words, other people were putting their eyes on something that I had created, and they were coming back to me saying, "Hey, this is really good. Do more." And actually, that happened completely independently of Garbage Rex, and I don't know how one can say anything other than that's the universe talking. So, and the reason I'm proud of it is because I took a lot of risks on that film. I didn't take a traditional narrative. I followed my gut and my instinct, and I just let my emotions speak. And if people see that, I suspect that they will understand what I'm trying to say right now.
Very good answer. I'm sure a lot of people will understand a lot about your answers after seeing this incredible movie.
Thanks.
Jan, tell me about you now.
Okay.
From your point of view, to which kind of audience is this movie for?
Well, I think this movie is for like every kind of audience should be interested in that, because every people of every age like face homeless people, see homeless people in the street, and everybody should learn how to behave in front of these people and respect them. And I have, for example, in my personal life, had like a beautiful moment with a homeless person when I was like in the US, and I was working in a restaurant. There was this homeless woman that like she's Venezuelan, but I mean, she knew how to speak Italian because she had lived in Italy. So she came there randomly, and like she started to talk, and then when she realized that I was Italian, she started talking to me in Italian, and I was like, being nice, talk to her, chat, make jokes, together. And this woman every day she was coming there to see me, to talk to me, because I was like giving her attention. And I wasn't doing anything special. I was just there talking to her, and she came to that place every day until we stopped working there. And that was like, I can't believe that, like, yeah, just a simple, like, thing to speak with a person and to give her some attention like that. And this thing made her like happy, and she wanted to come over there because she felt like, seen, I guess.
Exactly, because she felt seen and appreciated as a human being.
That's what I felt as well. Yeah.
Steve, now I'm with you. If you would have the power, what would you change in this society?
Well, I'm not going to change anything, but the intention is good. Okay? And as human beings, we have a capacity and always the ability, but we have the potential capacity to be empathic. The problem in the world is that it's not valued. And we have to assign it, I'm afraid, we need to give it a monetary value. That's the deal. And that is the way forward for the human race. Because if we do that, everything will get better. Business will improve, people will learn to behave better, and overall that will have a positive impact on the way we treat ourselves and our planet and our neighbour. But capitalism is the monster that we have to deal with. We are the monster, but we have to decide, do we want to take the big leap and do something that seems to be counterintuitive? What I mean that a company needs to have an understanding of whether or not they're hitting their empathy targets. Now, how do you work that out? Well, there's a solution to everything. In other words, which companies have the top empathy league tables, which schools are providing empathy seminars in the most innovative manner. In other words, it's really is the glue of our existence, and it needs to be monetized.
I totally agree with you, Steve. Jan, another question for you. Could you please tell me, after you will be releasing this movie, if you are expecting any changes in the society?
Well, I mean, of course, you cannot change everyone, but at least that this film is gonna make people reflect on their actions and really feel something from this movie. The way like these people are treated, and the way that we can improve their condition in the end.
I really hope that something will change in the society. Personally, I think that a lot of things should be changed. So now we are about to finish our interview, and I would like to ask you if you can share this with me, if you are having any future projects together. Who wants to answer?
Me? I thought it was ladies first. Okay. Sorry, Jan, that was a joke. I'm allowed to do that because he invited me to his birthday party. That means I've got leeway. So yeah, Necro is a feature film. It was written 7 or 8 years ago, and yeah, I want to do something a little bit different. It's a horror thriller, full of ambiguity, full of darkness, and it's exploring really thematically the grief and how we have to face it and we deal with it and go through it, and what can go wrong in the most extreme scenarios. Like I said, it's a horror thriller, so it's taken to an extreme. It's a damn good story.
I cannot wait to watch it or to hear from it now. And I want to ask you the last question, so one of you will answer. What is the main message that you would suggest or to give to the audience behind this screen? Who wants to answer?
It's your turn.
Well, like uh, advice is like, sometimes just think twice before making an action, and like be aware of of your actions, and even the consequences or the effect that you can have on other people.
Wow. I don't know about you, but really I feel a lot of energy with good vibes, good intentions here with these two masters of the cinema movie and of the production. Whatever I will wish you, I'm gonna be speechless But I wish to both of you actually all the best. And I have to say, God bless you for sharing Garbage Rex with the rest of the world with the best intention you have. And we cannot wait to see it, and we cannot wait for more projects with you together.
And we'll
So
see you at the screening.
I will be there in the first line. I wouldn't miss it for anything in the world. Thank you very much for
Thank
your
you.
time and for giving us the chance to know more about you. Thank you so much.
Delightful.